Ella Enchanted film. Ella Enchanted is a 2004 fantasy romantic comedy film directed by Tommy O'Haver and written by Karen McCullah Lutz and Kirsten Smith, starring Anne Hathaway and Hugh Dancy. The film plays with the usual fairy tale genre. The film is a co-production between companies in the United States, Ireland, and the United Kingdom. Plot: in the kingdom of Lamia, baby Ella of Frel is given the gift of obedience by misguided and obnoxious fairy godmother Lucinda Periweather, causing her to instantly obey any command she is given. On her deathbed, Ella's mother, who has contracted a terminal illness, warns her not to tell anyone about the gift for fear that someone might use it to exploit Ella. Years later, Ella's father Sir Peter marries wealthy socialite Dame Olga, who dislikes Ella and treats her poorly. Olga's daughters Hattie and Olive discover Ella's obedience and use it to humiliate her. Ella stumbles upon Prince Charmant, pursued by his besotted fan club, who invites her to his coronation ball, but Olga intercepts the invitation. Jealous, Hattie and Olive force Ella to cut ties with her childhood best friend, Arada. Ella resolves to find Lucinda to undo her gift. Mandy, the household fairy, lends Ella her boyfriend, Benny, whom she accidentally transformed into a magic book. Learning that Lucinda is attending a wedding in Jantville, Ella leaves her home to find her. On her journey, Ella rescues Slannon, an elf who wants to be a lawyer rather than be forced to be an entertainer. They are captured by ogres who intend to eat them, but are rescued by Char. He joins them as he intends to avenge the death of his father, and Ella opens his eyes to the cruelty of the laws oppressing elves and giants enacted by Char's paternal uncle Sir Edgar, the acting ruler. They discover Lucinda has already left, and Char suggests visiting the castle's Hall of Records to find her faster, which is overheard by Edgar's talking snake Heston. After Ella performs Somebody to Love for the wedding guests, she and Char begin to fall in love. At the castle, Edgar learns of Ella's gift from her stepsisters. Knowing his nephew is in love with her, Edgar orders Ella to murder Char at midnight when he inevitably proposes to her at the coronation ball, and to keep this plan secret. Edgar reveals that he murdered Char's father, and the prince's death will make Edgar king. Ella writes Char a letter, saying she must leave but cannot explain why. She has Slannon chain her to a tree, hoping to wait out Edgar's command, while Slannon recruits more elves and giants to protect Char. As night falls, Lucinda appears and Ella begs her to take back her gift. Offended, Lucinda insists that Ella remove the gift herself, unchains her, and gives her a fancy dress. Forced back to the castle, Ella stumbles into the ball. Char whisks her away to a secret hall of mirrors where he proposes. As Ella is about to stab Char, she sees her reflection along with a vision of her late mother and commands herself to no longer be obedient, permanently freeing herself from the gift. Char notices the dagger and Edgar has Ella arrested for attempted murder before she can explain herself. Benny, who was left in the Hall of Records and thrown out, is found by Slannon. Benny reveals Ella in the dungeon, and Slannon sneaks into the castle along with a band of elves, giants, and ogres and frees her. Benny shows that Edgar has poisoned Char's crown, intending to kill him at the coronation. As Char is about to be crowned, Ella and the others crash the ceremony, and a brawl with Edgar's soldiers ensues. In the scuffle, Mandy manages to turn Benny human again. As Char and Ella fight off the guards together, Heston almost fatally bites Char, but is kicked away by Ella and trampled by Char's fan club. Char takes this as evidence of his uncle's guilt. Edgar then denounces the prince and attempts to proclaim himself king, but foolishly puts on the poisoned crown and collapses. Soon after, Char and Ella are married, much to the envy of Ella's stepsisters. Char toasts to a new era of equality among all citizens of the kingdom. Edgar is revealed to still be alive, but severely disabled. The cast performs a final dance number of Don't Go Breaking My Heart before the newlyweds ride off on their honeymoon. Cast: Anne Hathaway as Ella Frel, a girl given the gift or curse of obedience by the fairy Lucinda, which magically compels her to literally obey every command she is given, even if it is against her wishes. Amy Brigg as young Ella. Hugh Dancy as Prince Charmant, son of the late king and heir to the throne. He is treated as a teen icon and has his own overzealous fan club, though he disagrees with this label. Cary Elwes as Sir Edgar, Prince's evil uncle and king regent who wants the crown for himself. He killed King Florian and took over the crown years ago. Steve Coogan as Heston, Edgar's pet snake and royal advisor. Eric Idle as the narrator. Aidan McArdle as Slannon, an elf who wants to become a lawyer. Jimmy Mistry as Benny, Mandy's boyfriend whom she had accidentally transformed into a giant magic book for the film's events and a pumpkin for a short time. He is later turned back into his human form towards the end of the film. Minnie Driver as Mandy, a household fairy in Ella's home. Vivica A. Fox as Lucinda Periweather, a well-meaning but misguided and often unhelpful fairy who gave the gift of obedience to Ella as a newborn infant. Lucy Punch as Hattie, one of Ella's cruel stepsisters who is obsessed with Prince Charmant. Jennifer Hyam as Olive, Ella's kleptomaniac and dim-witted stepsister who always follows her older sister Hattie. Jim Carter as Nish, an ogre who eats humans and the leader of the pack of ogres. Parminder Nagra as Arada, Ella's childhood best friend. Ankita Malkin as young Arada. Patrick Bergin as Sir Peter, Ella's father and Eleanor's husband. Donna Dent as Lady Eleanor, Ella's mother and Peter's first wife. Joanna Lumley as Dame Olga, Ella's cruel, abusive stepmother. Alvaro Lucchesi as Cupuduk, a giant. Heidi Klum as Brumhilda, a giantess and Slannon's love interest. Production: Hathaway, who first read the book when she was 16, says that there was originally a version of the script that was much closer to the book, that it didn't work as a film. She added that she prefers the way the movie actually turned out because it makes fun of itself for being a fairy tale. Levine states that the film is so different from the book that it's hard to compare them, noting the addition of new characters such as Sir Edgar and Heston, and suggested regarding the movie as a separate creative act. Hathaway did her own singing in the film. Jimmy Mistry, a British actor of Indian descent. You can't get less Indian than a talking book, and an American talking book. Filming took place in Ireland at Ardmore Studios and on location in Wicklow during August-December 2002. Locations included Lugalla Estate, Kilridurry House and Garden, and Kiltegan. Release: Miramax Films released the film on April 9, 2004. Box office: Ella Enchanted opened on April 9, 2004 and earned $6,169,030 in its opening weekend, ranking number 9 at the domestic box office. At the end of its run, the film grossed $22,918,387 domestically and $4,470,380 overseas for a worldwide total of $27,388,767. Critical response: the film received mixed reviews from critics. Review aggregation website Rotten Tomatoes holds a 50% score based on 115 reviews with an average rating of 5.6/10. The site's consensus reads, "Hathaway is a charming heroine, but the simple storyline gets overwhelmed by silly gimmickry." On Metacritic, The film has a 53 out of 100 rating based on 30 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Chicago Sun-Times critic Roger Ebert gave the film 3.5 stars out of 4, praising it as the best family film so far this year. April 9, 2004. Soundtrack. The soundtrack was released April 6, 2004 by Hollywood Records and features Kelly Clarkson's cover of Aretha Franklin's Respect, along with Somebody to Love by Queen and Don't Go Breaking My Heart by Elton John and Kiki Dee, both as covered by Hathaway and Jesse McCartney.